Get ready, bird lovers, because today we are diving headfirst into the incredible world of Mossel Bay seabirds.
Yeah.
You shared an awesome guide to pelagic species.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of this deep dive, you'll be a true seabird spotter.
Absolutely. It's amazing what they've managed to fit into this guide.
I know, right? It's packed with info.
Yeah.
And we're going to break it all down.
Yeah.
So you can not only identify these birds,
Yeah.
but actually get what makes them so unique.
Definitely. Because they are special.
Totally. But first things first, this guide focuses on pelagic birds.
Right.
Now, chances are you've heard that term before.
Sure.
But just so we're all on the same page, what does that even mean?
Well, it basically means that they live most of their lives out on the open ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, they're true ocean wanderers.
So cool. Perfectly adapted to that life at sea.
Absolutely.
And just flipping through this guide, one thing that really jumps out at me is the sheer variety of sizes we're talking about.
It's pretty incredible, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You've got the wandering albatross, which holds the record, right?
Yeah, largest wingspan of any bird.
Biggest wingspan. Up to 3.5 meters.
Amazing.
That's wider than a car.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Imagine seeing that gliding overhead.
Yeah.
It'd be like a small plane.
I know, right?
And then on the flip side, we've got the little tern.
Yeah, that's a small bird.
Coming in at a much more modest 50 to 60 centimeters.
Yeah.
Talk about a study in contrast.
Huge, huge difference.
Huge difference. And it's not just wingspan either.
No, no, no.
The guide points out that the Cape Gannet, while it doesn't win any prizes for the biggest wingspan,
Right.
it's surprisingly bulky.
They're pretty hefty birds.
It's about the size of a small albatross.
Yeah, you don't realize until you see them next to each other.
Exactly. It just goes to show there's more to a bird's size than meets the eye, right?
Definitely. There's more than just the wingspan.
Right. So we've got these massive birds soaring above the waves.
Yeah.
We've got these tiny birds flitting around.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you tell them apart when they're just a speck in the distance?
Ah, that's the challenge.
That's the challenge. That's where this guide really shines.
It does. It really does.
Because it highlights the key features for each bird.
And some of them are so easy to spot.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, some of these are unforgettable.
Oh, they're good.
They're really good. For example, you've got the sooty shearwater. Now, at first glance, it might seem kind of drab, right?
Yeah, it blends in with the ocean a bit.
Blends right in. But if you get a closer look, you'll see this bright yellow-orange stripe.
It's like a little racing stripe.
It's like a little racing stripe running along the top ridge of its beak.
It's great.
It's like a beacon in all that gray.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing how these small details can make all the difference.
You just need to know what to look for.
Exactly. And speaking of distinctive features, the shy albatross is a perfect example.
Now they are shy.
They're called shy for a reason.
For a reason.
But if you do get lucky enough to catch a glimpse, those soft pink legs and feet are a dead giveaway.
A dead giveaway.
Who would have thought?
It's true.
Soft pink legs and feet.
You won't mistake them.
I know, right? It's those unexpected pops of color that really stick with you.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want a bird that is impossible to miss,
Oh, yeah.
look no further than the pintado-petrel. This bird was rocking a bold black and white pattern.
It's like nature's tuxedo.
Like nature's tuxedo.
Mm.
Perfect for identification. You cannot miss this bird.
No, you can't.
And, it's interesting. This guide, it doesn't just focus on looks.
Yeah.
It also gets into some fascinating behaviors.
Oh, yeah. Some of these birds, they have personality.
They got personality.
Yeah.
Behaviors that can actually help you identify these birds, when you're out there on the fly. For instance, the Cape Gannet, we were just talking about how bulky it is, but it's also a plunge diving champion.
Oh, yeah, they're incredible to watch.
Imagine seeing this bird just plummeting into the water.
Like a missile.
Like a missile. From heights of up to 30 meters.
Yeah.
That's almost 100 feet.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I can barely jump off the high dive at the pool.
I know, right? It's incredible.
How do they survive that kind of impact?
Their bodies are just perfectly adapted for it. They've got that streamlined shape, those incredible shock-absorbing air sacs, Evolution is pretty amazing when you think about it.
Evolution is pretty amazing. I mean, 30 meters. Now, I'm noticing as I'm going through this, some of these birds have a bit of a, shall we say, a bit of a reputation.
Oh, yeah.
Like the subantarctic skua, for example.
Yeah, oh, yeah, the skuas.
Known for falling boats.
They're notorious for it.
Notorious boat followers.
Boat followers.
These birds are known for their boldness.
Oh, yeah, they're very confident birds.
They often trail behind vessels. They even approach people.
Oh, yeah. They're not afraid of anything.
They're not afraid of anything.
Not a thing.
Not afraid to get up close and personal. Let's just say that.
Definitely not. They're like, hey, how are you?
Right.
What you got?
Got any snacks?
Exactly.
I guess when you're an opportunistic feeder, you got to be assertive.
You gotta be.
And speaking of assertive, we can't forget about the parasitic Jaeger.
Oh, the Jaegers.
Now, there's a bird
There's a story there.
with a name like that. You know there's got to be a good story.
Oh, there is. There is a good story. Oh, there is. A good story.
So, the parasitic Jaeger. Remember how we were talking about opportunistic feeders?
Mm-hmm.
This bird takes it to a whole other level.
They do.
They are what's known as kleptoparasites.
Kleptoparasites, yeah.
Now, if you're like me, you're probably thinking,
Yeah.
what on earth is a kleptoparasite?
It sounds kind of scary.
It does sound kind of scary. Well, it basically means they steal food from other birds.
Yeah, they harass them.
Oh, no.
They're relentless until they just give up their hard-earned meal.
It's like a high seas heist.
It really is.
They're like the pirates of the bird world.
Exactly. And they're good at it.
They're good at it, right?
Those aerial skills.
They've got the skills.
And they know how to intimidate, that's for sure.
It's amazing.
It's a fascinating, if slightly ruthless survival strategy, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Nature is tough.
It is.
You know, as I'm going through this guide, I'm realizing telling some of these birds apart, especially when they're just,
Yeah.
soaring past your boat,
It can be tricky.
it can be really tricky.
It's a real challenge.
Yeah. It's like a real life game of like,
Where's Waldo?
where's Waldo? But with birds.
Exactly. Bird-themed Where's Waldo?
But that's where those key features
Yeah.
become even more crucial,
Absolutely. Knowing what to look for.
knowing what to look for. For example,
Yeah.
the guide points out that the Antarctic tern and the Arctic tern
Oh, yeah.
look very similar
Very similar.
at first glance.
At first glance, very easy to confuse them.
Right. Looking at them now, they both have that,
Hmm.
classic white and gray plumage,
Yeah.
black cap. Easy to mix them up.
Easy to do.
So what's the key difference?
Their bills and legs.
Their bills and legs. Okay, so break it down for me.
All right. So the Antarctic tern has a deep red bill with no black tip and red legs,
Okay.
whereas the Arctic tern has a brighter orangey red bill with a black tip and darker legs.
Wow. Those are some seriously subtle differences.
They are subtle.
It makes you realize how much attention to detail is required
So absolutely.
to become like a true seabird expert.
You've got to have a keen eye.
A keen eye.
Exactly.
And it's not just about spotting a bird. It's about really seeing it.
That's it.
Right.
Seeing the detail.
Recognizing those little details. And this guy does a fantastic job of highlighting
It does.
those easy to miss field marks.
It does, yeah.
For instance, you've got the flesh-footed shearwater and the sooty shearwater.
Another tricky pair.
Oh, yeah. Even for experienced birders, that can be a real head-scratcher.
Definitely can.
So what's the trick? How do you tell those two apart?
Well, the flesh-footed shearwater has a very pale, almost ivory-colored bill, while the sooty shearwater, remember, has that distinctive yellow-orange stripe.
It's all coming together now.
I told you, you're well on your way to becoming a pro.
You know what? I'm starting to feel it.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been awesome.
Oh.
A total crash course in all things Mossel Bay seabirds.
No, it's a great place to see seabirds.
It is a great place.
Yeah.
And I feel like I could actually hold my own on a bird watching expedition now.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's one more bird I want to touch on before we wrap up.
Okay.
The white-chinned petrel.
Ah, the white-chinned petrel.
What makes this one stand out?
Well, it's one of the larger ones, for one.
Okay.
Often over 90 centimeters long.
Wow, that's a pretty good size.
It is, but what really sets it apart is its beak.
Its beak. Okay, what about its beak?
It's huge and pale, almost comical looking compared to its dark feathers. Imagine a giant ivory-colored banana just stuck on its face.
Okay, now that's an image that's going to stay with me.
Right.
I can just picture it now. Gliding along with this massive beak.
You won't miss it.
Definitely a bird that commands attention. You know, speaking of fascinating,
Yeah.
remember how we were talking about the subantarctic skua
Mm-hmm.
and how they follow boats?
The boat followers.
The boat followers. The guide mentioned it, but it got me thinking, why do they do that?
Why do you think they do that?
I don't know. Are they just being friendly?
Well, they might seem friendly, but remember, we talked about them being opportunistic feeders.
Right, right.
So what do you think they've learned to associate boats with?
Food.
Exactly.
So they're not just hitching a ride, they're looking for a free lunch.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Whether it's fish scraps or just the disturbance attracting smaller sea creatures,
Makes sense.
they're experts at seizing an opportunity.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
And a little bit sneaky.
Absolutely. It speaks to their intelligence, their adaptability, using our presence to their advantage.
It's a good reminder that the animal world,
Yeah.
full of these fascinating,
surprises.
unexpected behaviors.
How many?
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah.
It is.
They've developed these really sophisticated strategies just to survive.
It really makes you realize how much we can learn just from watching nature.
Totally. And this guide
Yeah.
is like a treasure trove.
It is.
Seabird secrets. I feel like I've graduated from
Right.
bird watching boot camp.
There you go.
We've covered it all. Size, markings, behaviors, even beak shapes.
It's a good start.
Right. So what else? What else can we use when we're out on the water trying to ID these birds?
Don't underestimate
Yeah.
the power of those field marks.
Right.
Those little details in the guide, they're crucial
Okay.
for telling those similar species apart.
You mean like those quick tips?
Yeah, the quick tips.
They sprinkle those throughout.
Just little, yeah.
Those helpful hints.
Having a bird expert whispering secrets in your ear.
Exactly. They can make all the difference.
Yeah. Okay, so give me an example.
Okay, so remember we were talking about the flesh-footed and sooty shearwaters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those two.
The guide reminds us that the flesh-footed has that pale ivory-colored bill,
Right.
while the sooty has the bright yellow-orange stripe on the beak.
Okay.
And that's how you tell them apart.
It's amazing, though, how those little details, they might seem insignificant, but they're really your key
They are.
to unlocking
They really are.
it's a whole new level
You're the key.
of bird identification.
It's like you're training your eye
Right.
to see the world differently.
It's true. Pick up on those subtle clues.
Absolutely.
This has been so rewarding, this whole deep dive.
It's been fun.
I feel like I could actually go on a bird watching expedition now
I think you could.
and hold my own,
Oh, for sure.
not be a total newbie.
You've learned so much.
I learned a lot.
And more importantly, you've shown a passion for it.
I do. I do love it. There's something about learning about these birds and their adaptations and their behaviors. It gives you a whole new appreciation
Definitely.
for the natural world.
For sure.
It's like this hidden world right here on our planet. All right, so to everyone listening out there,
Yeah.
grab your binoculars, steady up on your field marks,
Get out there.
and get ready for an unforgettable
Absolutely.
bird watching adventure.
So much to discover.
And never lose that sense of wonder. Who knows what you'll find out there.
Exactly. Happy birding.
Happy birding.